All right, so we're going to take a look at your unit conversions activity and some of the calculations, some of the conversions that you can do. So starting with number 3, we did a couple of these in class. I'm just going to jump down to number 3, the volume of the coffee mug in liters. So the first thing is your data should have already been in milliliters. All right, so I got about, this is my data, it doesn't have to be the same as yours, but I got about 310 milliliters for the volume of the coffee mug. I'm going to write that as a fraction, and then we're going to try to get rid of milliliters, right? So then what unit am I going to put on top? It should be liters, right? All right, so the next question is, what does the rest of the fraction look like? What do the numbers look like? So which one is bigger, liters or milliliters? Okay, you should have said liters. So liters get a 1, and then next to milliliters, if I look at my little chart that I gave you in class, if liters is in the ones place, 3 decimal places down, I'll find the prefix for milli. Kind of pan over there so you can see that. So they're 3 decimal places apart from one another, all right? And so I am going to write, next to milliliters, I'm going to write a 1 with 3 zeros, or 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. Milliliters would not cancel. So let's see what you get. Go ahead and try it. Okay, so we're going to use your calculator. I just made the decimal. You should get 0.31 liters. All right, and then if we go to the next part, this one's not metric. We're changing our liters, which are metric, into gallons, which are not. So you're given the conversion factor. 1 gallon is 3.8 liters. So let's start with our 0.31 liters that we just figured out. Put that over 1. And then your next fraction, what's that going to look like? What units are going to go on the bottom? What's going to go on the top? Okay, so you should say that liters would go on the bottom and gallons goes on the top, because we're trying to get rid of liters and we're trying to get gallons. So we'll cancel liters by putting it on the bottom, get gallons by putting it on top. And if we look at the conversion factor, it says 1 gallon equals 3.8 liters. So, 1 gallon, ignore that, is equal to 3.8 liters. So if I multiply fractions, I multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and then I divide my answer on the top by my answer on the bottom. But since we have just 1 here and here, we can kind of ignore those, because multiplying or dividing by 1 doesn't do anything. So if I just do 0.31 divided by 3.8, I should get 1.178 gallons. And then to write my answer for significant figures, that would be based on my starting number, which only has 2. So this becomes 1.2 gallons. Okay? All right, let's try one more. See if we're kind of getting the hang of this. Number 4. How many milliseconds did it take your partner to sing happy birthday, or you, or whatever? So it takes me about 10, well, I timed it, 10.33 seconds. Use your own value, don't use mine. Probably going to take exactly the same amount of time for you that it took for me. Okay, so what unit's going to go on the bottom? Right, so that would be seconds, and then milliseconds on top. And then, remember, we're going to ask ourselves which unit is bigger, because it gets a 1, right? So that would be 1 second. And then, again, just like before, we're going through from the base unit, just like we did here, only this time we've got seconds here, and we're going to milliseconds. So it's still just 1, 2, 3 spots over. So that means I'm going to put a 1 with 3 zeros on top. Seconds cancels. And so this is going to give me, again, I could multiply the 1s by each other on the bottom and then divide my answer up here by 1, but that doesn't do anything. So I'm just going to ignore the ones and just do 10.33 times 1,000, which of course would be 10,330 milliseconds. So if you apply those same steps to all these problems, you should, you're either going to be given a conversion factor like you are in number 5, and the second part of number 5, and 6, and the second part of number 6, you're given the conversion factors, or you're going to be using the little chart if it's a metric to metric conversion like the one we just did. And if you know how to use those and you know where to put the units, you should be able to do all these problems.